Pretty Woman Hustle. It is our first night of the Pretty Virtual Book Tour, and we have an amazing guest, Coleen Sykes Ray. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, if you don't know her, okay, listen here. You are going to be amazed. She has a bio that is out of this world, but her work speaks for itself. Let's jump right in. Coleen is the author of My Melanin is Magical, Daddy's Beard, and Mama Taught Me to Pray. Coleen Sykes Ray pens her latest book, The Praise in Me. Colleen's love for writing combined with her desire to reach out to children is the motivation behind this book. Another major success, The Praise in Me, is a well-written tale that brings out a much deeper message in a loving and simple way. Colleen felt empowered to start her ministry and began writing children's books in response to her calling to express her gift of healing to reach into the lives of others. She believes deeply in an individual's power to overcome any obstacle in their life. And her passion is to inspire this belief in others in order to empower them. The Praise in Me tells the story of Roxanne, an extraordinary young lady. Roxanne is a hardworking and determined girl who always makes it to the top of her class. Being a 12-year-old kid in a big world is not as bad as it seems. But trouble comes when Kimmy and her gang begin picking on Roxanne. Roxanne soon realizes that she can overcome this obstacle. She begins immersing herself in dancing and worship that automatically makes it easier to ignore the mean girls. On one occasion, Roxanne finds herself soaring through her praise and entering a realm far from the earth and up in the heavens. The writer takes the reader on a journey filled with adventure alongside Roxanne as she faces life with praise and dancing. Oh my goodness. Coleen Sykes Ray was born in 1980 and raised in Stockton, California. She is the founder and executive director of the Bags of Hope Stockton Foundation. Today, Coleen is a multifaceted leader. She has helped us to establish health ministries within faith-based organizations, worked as a program manager for the Perinatal Equity Initiative. Coleen currently runs her own small business in her community, Colleen's Cupcakery. In the past few years, here's the kicker, y'all. You ready? Coleen has written and published 23 titles. She has been married for 22 years and is the mother to two wonderful children. Oh my goodness. You have to drop the mic when it comes to you. Like literally. 23 though. 23 books.
Yes, ma'am.
How?
I don't know. I love to write, and I guess that would lead me into my first question, and the first answer to the question. I love to write. When I was growing up, my mom, she read books, and I had an aunt who was a librarian. And so I was always surrounded by books and reading. And reading was such a passion of mine. It would take me to different realities. And so I always was like, I want to be an author who could, touch people with my words, and as how I was touched when I was a kid. And so it's my passion to write. And so I love it. So that's how I've done it.
Yes. And I mean, being able to do what you love, that's the ultimate gift.
Yes, definitely.
So you've penned over 23 titles. What is the creative process like? Can you take us through that?
Yeah. So I was talking to my friend earlier and I was like, oh my gosh, how do I really answer this question without sounding like I'm crazy? Because I literally get up sometimes at 3 o'clock in the morning and it's like I get floods of like visions and ideas and just things that come to me, and I'm up writing and I got to put it on paper. And so it's like, it's something for me that's like spiritual. And so I'm like, I just need to write it down, and I can't stop writing until I can't stop, writing until it's all out. And so that process for me is when I wake up in the morning, I write down what I'm feeling. I write down all my ideas, and I read a lot. I read a lot of poetry. I listen to music. There are a lot of things that I do just to, get into the zone and how I develop the characters. And I also think about what I want to read and what I want to see as a kid. If I'm looking at a children's book, or if, as an adult, if I want to, what do I want to read, and what kind of characters do I want to develop that are interesting and unique and stand out to me. So that's the process that I use.
And that makes total sense. And I love the fact that you said that you kind of put yourself into the character shoes. So you put yourself into the reader's shoes. You're saying, you know what, I don't write something without thinking of you first. So I love that. I love that. How do you keep your love for writing fresh when burnout is so easy?
Oh my gosh. So what I do is I use the stop method, and that's you step away, you take a breath, you don't overthink, and you just pause when necessary. And then I also, again, like I read and I make sure that I am not feeling overwhelmed. And I do free writing a lot. So free writing is just where it doesn't have to be structured. It doesn't have to make sense. It just needs to be put down on paper, and then you can come back to it and then organize it. So free writing helps me, and just taking a break from it is what helps me. And so I want to say for about the last 6 months, I haven't really written anything. And so it's been, I don't want to say it's burnout, but it's been a moment where I'm paused and I'm thinking about, okay, where do I want to go next? What story do I want to tell? And who are my readers? Who wants to read something that I'm producing? And so I think about those things, and then I come back and develop a story.
I love it. The stop method. Okay. See, you're dropping good tips for authors. I love it. You are the author of 4 amazing books designed specifically for children. What inspired you to go into writing for children specifically in that area?
So what inspired me was, I have children, of course. I have 2 young adults, a 19 and an 18-year-old. And I wanted to create books for them that they could relate to. And I wanted them to be able to look at the characters and see people that look like them. And then I also wanted them to be able to read about situations that they encounter as African Americans. And so, some situations that we're put in are unique to us. And so I wanted my children and other children to be able to see themselves and say, okay, that's what it looks like, and I'm okay. And I also, my daughter, like when she was a freshman in high school, she went through horrible bullying. And so I wanted to just give her a way to say, no, you're not alone. A lot of young adults, a lot of teenagers go through bullying, and it's okay. And here's some ways to overcome that. And so I just wanted her to feel good, and I wanted her to feel, you're okay, you're special, just like every other kid. So that's what inspired me to write for kids, because I want them to know that, you're special, you're unique.
I love that. I love that. The life lessons in that. And that goes to my next question. What do you hope that other children take away from your work?
So it's my prayer that other children are able to see themselves, and they're able to use the tools that I put in my books, in my children's books, as a way to overcome obstacles. Because there are 3 books in particular, especially with The Praise in Me, where Roxanne, the main character, is bullied constantly by a group of girls. And so instead of reacting negatively to that bullying, she uses worship as a way to overcome. And she uses dance as a way to overcome those girls who are intimidating her and bullying her. And so I want kids to be able to look at the stories that I create and say, okay, well, worship is, I can do that anywhere. Worship is something that is not just reserved for church. And dance is not just something that's reserved for specific situations. And so I want them to be able to take that away and learn something positive.
Yes, I love that. Worship isn't something that can just be done in church.
No,
And
absolutely.
that is a lesson that in the Christian community, and even as a community as a whole, that we have to understand and teach our children that, you know what, you can pray anywhere. You can go to God and use your gifts anywhere.
Absolutely. You are the church. Yes.
Okay, I want you to reflect over all 23 titles. Name 3 life lessons that can be found in your work.
So I wrote them down. 3 life lessons that could be found in my work is, 1, it teaches you how to stand boldly and who you are. And it actually teaches you never to be intimidated for being who you are by other people. You don't have to worry about what others' opinions or thoughts or actions are towards you, as long as you stand up and know that this is who I am, this is who God has created me to be, and I'm just fine. And if you don't like it, that's okay. And so those are the life lessons that you can find throughout all of my books, from Mama Taught Me to Pray to My Melanin is Magical. Those are all key concepts that I write about, because I want not just young children to know, but adults too, that you're unique. You are designed the way that God has designed you, and who cares what other people think? So that is the life lessons that I put in my books that can be found there.
I love it. I love it. How do the characters in your work exemplify your life? How does it line up?
So I would have to say that I've been in many situations. I relate to Roxanne, which is the last series of books that I've written, which is the Praise in Me series. Roxanne, again, she's the main character, and I relate to her so much because I've been in situations where I felt intimidated, where I felt like I couldn't use my voice, where I couldn't be myself. And so I created Roxanne to be this strong, even though she's 12 years old, she's this strong, outgoing individual who does not care about what society is telling her to do, what society is telling her to be, what other kids or adults are telling her that she can't do. And she approaches life, with this, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And she masters dance, and she is excellent in her studies. And so I love Roxanne, because that is somebody who I know that I was striving to be when I was younger, but I didn't quite grab a hold to it, but now I am. And so it's like, I love the way that I created her, because she is someone who takes life and just has fun with it and just loves every minute of it. And so I think that Roxanne is one of the characters that really exemplifies my life.
I love that. I love that. And I bet that kind of makes writing easier, because like that's you know what I mean?
Right.
After writing 23 titles and you being an entrepreneur, you've done so much, you wear many titles. What is next for you?
So The Praising Me is a series of 3 books. And so right now, The Praising Me is out. The second book is called The Praising Me Rhythm, Heavenly Rhythm. And Roxanne joins a dance studio. And so that book is scheduled to be released December 23rd. And right now, it went through the final editing process, and the illustrator has it. And so she's creating all the beautiful images that will go into that book. And I'm also working on a calendar. I do also bake. I have my own small business as a bakery, which is Coleen's Cupcakery. And I put out a calendar last year. And so this year I'm also putting out a calendar, which is Let's Eat Cake All Year. And that's going to be available in December as well. So those are the 2 projects that I'm currently working on.
I love it. I love it. You have great things in the horizon. But let's eat cake all year. That's catchy. I like it. I can't wait for that calendar to release.
Yes, thank you.
My final question for you tonight. What advice do you have for the next generation of writers?
So the advice that I would have is what I would say to the next generation of writers is you might think that what you have to offer in terms of writing has maybe already been presented, but you are unique. You have a gift that was designed to touch a specific audience. And so when you think about what you want to write and what you want to present to the world, just write from your heart. And that is where your most authentic voice is going to reside. That's where it's going to come from. And so that's the advice that I would give. Write from your heart, write from your voice, not someone else's, not what you've read or not what you've seen, but write from your heart. And the writing process would be so much easier. And so that's the advice that I would give to the next generation of writers.
I love it. I love it. Amazing advice. To create, to don't worry about what someone else has already created. Just do it,
Just do it.
I love it. So someone listening in, someone watching, and they're like, you know what, how can I support Coleen?
So
what would you say?
You can go, thank you. I'm sorry. You can go to my website, which is ColeenRay.com. Or you can go to Amazon.com and you can put in my name, which is Coleen Sykes Ray, and every book that I've ever written will populate. And just because of the Pretty Women Hustle virtual book tour, I put every book on sale. And so please go get the books. Share them with your friends, your families, your kids, your loved ones. There's something for everyone, for every age group. Go to ColeenRay.com or Amazon.com. The books are be available there.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. You heard it here, Pretty Woman Hustle. Go grab your copy of any of her 23 books. They're all available on Amazon, or visit her site, ColeenRay.com, and go grab one. She has, like she said, she has titles for every genre. So that's the great thing, to have someone so accomplished, someone so creative to create something to meet the needs of your whole family. Yes. Thank you for joining us tonight, Coleen.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right.